Join us now is the co-chair of the former president's White House transition team, Howard Lutnick, CEO and chairman of Cantor Fitzgerald, BGC Group, chairman of Newmark Group. We saw you last week, as we do every year, because of September 11th, and all the proceeds that day, I guess, the trading goes towards a very decent...
Right. We were located on the top of the World Trade
Yes.
Center. We lost 658 of our 960 employees, and they are still close to us. We still hold the memorial together, and we keep their families really, really tight with us.
When did you become the co-chair of the transition?
Just about 3 months ago.
Oh, you've been in that position for 3 months.
Yeah, about 3 months, which is good. You got to plan. The idea is not to do transition on election day. It's sort of to get ready so you have good plans and you have great people in place who want to serve, so that you can show. My objective is to show the president a mosaic opportunity of all these different people who want to serve. They've already been vetted, and let's go select the greatest government we've ever had, have smart people do it, really get great people to commit to serving the government, which I have every day. Everywhere I go, people say, I want to serve. If he wins, I want to serve.
Are you in a position to tell us who's going to fill out all the different cabinet positions?
See, I'm in a position to tell you I'm building a mosaic of the greatest people. And you know who selects the people who are going to serve? The President of the United States was just elected by everybody.
You can't even tell us a wish list at this point. Then let's talk, and we're eventually going to have to talk about tariffs, but all the different moving parts of the opposing economic plans from Vice President Harris versus President Trump. How do you characterize the big picture, the differences?
I think it's just partisan politics. It's amazing. It's like, you remember the 51 intelligence officers who said the Biden laptop was a Russian disinformation, and it was just under Biden's laptop, which the FBI must have known in about, what do you think, 10 seconds they knew it was real? So that's like saying 15 Nobel laureates, including Janet Yellen's husband, writes and signs a piece of paper saying this economics is better than the other. It's just partisan nonsense.
I hear you.
It's nonsense.
I saw it in the debate, and I even saw David Solomon last week say that that was totally...
Oh, you should read. You know what? No one's read the Goldman report.
No,
if you read the Goldman report, it is nonsense. It just says, let's assume that it's the worst set of circumstances. We put in tariffs, right? And every other country in the world matches the tariffs. And then let's go see what happens. I mean, this is just kind of nonsense.
Of a point. But it also had to do with open borders.
But it's nonsense, right? Oh, our prices for labor are going to come down because we're going to employ 30,000 new immigrants a month.
Policy differences, though, would you say? That was my question. What is Kamala Harris proposing, Vice President Harris, and what is former President Trump proposing, for example, to fight inflation, to engender growth, to pay off the debt, to try and narrow the deficit? What are the differences?
Okay, there's only one way to break inflation, okay? And that is to bring down energy costs. The only tool that you really have to break inflation is to bring down, you have to stop printing money. God knows you have to stop printing money, because we all know where inflation comes from. Right? Inflation comes from the American Rescue Plan, which was passed in 2021, which created $2 trillion of new cash being produced, right? That came into the economy. Everyone said it's going to create inflation. It created inflation in the middle of 2022. Okay, so we all know where inflation came from. It's called the American Rescue Plan. $2 trillion of spending. Look, you can't produce inflation without printing money. If you don't print money, you can't produce inflation.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I don't disagree that bill produced some inflation.
I said it then, by the way.
Okay, but the question is whether, on a relative basis, how much do you blame the Fed? You can go look around the world about supply chain issues. There was other reasons that there was inflation in the system.
Okay, let's be.
You could say it exacerbated it.
No, you can't produce inflation without printing money. I'm telling you, if we had, $1 trillion fixed
during the pandemic,
things can't inflate without money. Milton Friedman, you remember him?
Yes.
Right, crystal clear. The only entity that can produce inflation in the world is the government by printing money.
Yes.
And there is no other. So let's do that, number one. Number two, let's go to energy. If you bring down energy
but the government
costs,
was printing money during the Trump administration.
Of course it did.
During the pandemic, it was printing money.
And there was no inflation. They were not printing too much. They did not print too much. Of course they are.
You don't think there's a lagging effect? Why do you think there was inflation in the rest of the world at the same time?
Why did I go on television and say that inflation was going to begin after the American Rescue Plan did $2 trillion, which was unnecessary? It was after we were coming out, right? 2021, as you remember, we were rocking, right? The second half of 2020.
There's no doubt that it was supply chain caused a supply problem, and then you dump all the, people would say that the stimulus during Trump you needed because of the pandemic, but then it but you didn't need it.
It was
but the question I have
is the only reason.
Talking about baby drill, and we had J.D. Vance on last week, and a lot of people said, drill, baby, we're already, leading the world in production and export. If you were to drill a lot more, prices would probably come down, which would be good. But the oil companies at that point, we know how supply and demand works. They pull in their horns when prices don't warrant a lot of excess, a lot more drilling, right?
We have the same or more. We have more oil and more capacity than Saudi Arabia. You would never know it because what we do is we constrain our drilling.
Even though it's up at record levels.
Yeah, we just won't drill on it because we don't want to. We want to break the Democratic Party does not want you in a fossil fuel car. They want to break the fossil fuel car. They want to break mobility. Okay? And you break mobility, you break rural America, right? We can't have electric cars operating in rural America. They can't, it doesn't work. So that breaks the rural. And then you go to suburban. How do I commute to work to and from in an electric car? So we need fossil fuels for the next 30 and 40 years. Someday we'll get good enough in batteries. My view is we should unleash American ingenuity
even more so.
To build batteries
That's
in America.
That's the counterfactual.
Before we go to electric cars, which are all produced in China, and the batteries are all produced in China, let's create batteries in America. Let's use American ingenuity to create batteries in America. Let's not close the Iron Range in Minnesota because they said it could pollute, right? Where we need the rare earths there to build our batteries. So we need to drill and we need to drive down energy costs. That will break the back of inflation. We need to break the back of inflation. Then we need to figure out how to build batteries for the long term, not the short term. We can't be all in electric cars by 2030. Trucks will be too heavy. You can't even go over bridges in America. So I need some practicality, and I need some business practicality.